almost had it. I miss it. How long have I been doing this for? Hello, it's me. It's Jamie Wake here from Club F.O.D to bring you on Friday evening Wake's World. That's how simple the whole premise is. My little world talking about absolutely rubbish. What else would I do, really? Not an awful lot. I hope you're well. I hope you are enjoying what beautiful weather we had today. I only saw it when I poked my head out the door earlier when someone came to, a customer came to pick up some chocolates a little earlier on. And I was like, oh, no wonder I was having a headache in the studio, in the study earlier. Paul Hart has joined us in the room. Good evening, Paul Hart. Let me put that on the screen. I hope you're well, Paul. I hope you're feeling better than I am. I'm feeling a little at the moment. As you know, I've been ill quite a lot over the last few months, and today has been no exception, despite the fact the steroids and stuff are changed for my chest. Today, I don't know if you've ever been that tired where you feel like you're standing. Well, you would be standing, but you feel so heavy you could sink right into the floor. Have you ever had that before? So I don't know about you, but last night I noticed, and because I was up at 6 o'clock. For those who got messages from me at 5 o'clock this morning, I do apologise. Wide awake, couldn't go back to bed. But I noticed on social media that huge numbers of people either had woken up really, really early or just couldn't sleep, were still awake from the night before. So how is your sleeping pattern? Anyone else going through this weird change where sleep really has deserted me? Sophie's watching. Hello, Sophie. I hope you're well. As I say, the only person in the world that ever calls me Flower. Not even my mother calls me that. And Brandon and Martin are joining us. They have just finished their radio show on Radio F.O.D, another service brought to you by the magic that is Club F.O.D. So I hope they're well. We listened in for a little bit, but then I had to come up here. And because I'm really not feeling great, it just took me a long time to get upstairs and get things switched on. And then my computer, for those of you who have Macs, can be a bit slow sometimes, decided it wanted to do things to speed itself up. And I was panicking at 1 minute too. Oh my God, it's not finished. So hopefully it will work. Rob's in the building. Hello, Rob. Nice to see you. What a weird week. So we are still vaccinating group 6. We're not going as fast as we did groups 1 to 4. And we now, I need a fanfare. We have a roadmap out of lockdown. Allegedly. Let me just put it on the screen. Hello, Brendan. And I didn't put Martin on the screen. How amiss of me. How naughty, how naughty, how naughty. Paul Hart says, my sleeping pattern is almost messed up and I have 2.5 hours and wide awake for the rest of the day. I don't know how much longer I can survive tonight, to be honest. Look, this is how organised I am. I'm ready to go and have a bath. I have to show it this way because the dog ate the eye off my rubber duck once and I've never had it back, obviously, because dog cremated. If you just join us, if you are a Wake's World virgin, don't worry, don't be shy, you're not alone. There's quite a lot of virgins in the world apparently. I'm not going to bite because I'm not in leather. It's only when I'm in leather that I'll do the biting. It's a simple format for F.O.D TV's lockdown listings. It's news, it's views, and it's our issues. I might rant about something. Actually, what I say I probably will rant about something. And if I can be bothered to make something 1 week, I will. Not tonight. I'm hoping I can make my bed in time to fall asleep. So, look, this is how bad things are got. I ran out of white paper, so I've had to use paper from my Lib Dem days. I found a whole stack of it. I didn't obviously do many leaflets and posts in those days. And yeah, it's orange. So does it work as a light? No, I'm trying to see if it reflects the light onto my face, make me look a little prettier. Martin says no virgins here. No, that is not a lie. So obviously just me then being virginal, dressed in, well, meant to be white, but I got the wrong rugby top on. It's red. But there we go. So, how's your week been? What have you been up to? Have you done anything? Who went out into the sunshine today? I know Mano went out for a very long walk into town on his essential journey. I think mainly because he was missing M&S. I drag him into Aldi and Lidl way too often, and B&M. Other cheap stores are available, obviously, and he needed a bit of M&S because, let's face it, I'm not driving to the car park in Waitrose. Hi Amy, nice to see you. Martin says, only grass virgins. Everybody is pure as a driven slush. Slush puppies. Oh no, that was Wednesday. They were back, as it were. So, yes, we now have a roadmap out of lockdown, apparently. Have you actually read it though? Because everyone is they're hanging on to the headlines and the dates, aren't they? I think. Brenda says white, more red blood, and Martin's hello to Amy. So as we know, we're going to ignore step 1 and step 2. Because actually not much really changes. But we get to step 3, which will take place no earlier than the 17th of May, and at least 5 weeks after step 2. They are going to allow, drum roll, well, my hair didn't even move. They're going to allow pubs, bars and restaurants to reopen. They can open, I believe, in step 2, but only outside. Let's face it, we're not going to have nice weather every day, are we? So I don't see how that's going to work. And actually, many of the bars that we go to don't have open spaces, don't have gardens. Some of the country pubs do, but really, who's going to drive to a country pub to get drunk? It's not the way I wanted to go with this, but if you go out to have a drink, and you not have a designated driver, someone who doesn't drink, who can drive your car safely as well if you're taking your own car. So it's a little bit. I don't think that's going to work. And actually, the people that do have gardens, so for example, the Outlook has an open area. Will they bother opening for those 15 seats? Not the Outlook. Did I mean the Outlook? No, I meant the Oakford. But there we go. The Outlook also has an open bar. They have less seats. Well, these pubs are open. Is there enough business for those spaces to keep them occupied all day? Because there'll be queues. There'll be table service, obviously. And even when we get to the 17th of May, we still have to have table service as well. I think people, they're shouting and celebrating the 70th May, they don't looking at the guidelines that we're going back to the rule of 6. Now, the rule of 6 has changed. So it used to be that how the 6 people in your group were made up. Now it's just it's either 2 households or rule of 6. But it's the 17th that we can go to the pub. We no longer have to have a Scotch egg, which is a shame because I quite enjoyed Mark's Scotch eggs at the Palagro. That was made my birthday. Being able to have this illustrious Scotch egg that people were debating here, there and everywhere. There'll be no curfew. But we don't know how councils are going to interpret that. Does that mean we go back, for example, at the Palagro where Club F.O.D holds its club nights? Will we go back to finishing at 2 in the morning at a weekend? Or will the council say, no, you have to finish at 12? There's so many questions because national government don't do licensing. Local government does the licensing. And you have to still be served and be seated at your table. And as we know, if you look further on in the guidelines, in the 60-odd pages they've created, it doesn't actually use the word mask until towards the end, where it says they will inform us if things like social distancing and the wearing of face coverings or masks can be removed, which basically says if we're going to the pub, you still have to wear your face mask when you get up from that table and go to the pub, which I think is a good thing because we don't know where everyone else has been, what everyone else is doing. But then when we get to step 4, that's the exciting bit because that is when nightclubs, and let's face it, they haven't been open for a very, very long time, way before everyone else, they closed, they will be able to open. So will you go busking and dancing and bopping in a mask? You'd have to have a lot of designer or leather mask or something. So what are your thoughts on this magic roadmap out of lockdown? Do you think it's realistic? Do you think we're actually going to get to these stages and go, yes, we can move on to the next stage? I've got a rant all lined up about this and I don't want to peak too early, but what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? Are you confident? Are you looking forward to it? Are you desperate to go back to the pub in the way that we used to do? Now, David Lane saying more pubs are available, but not enough with gardens, my dear. In fact, David, you said that twice. Amy says, how many people can you cram into the Blago smoking area? Not many, because Brendan goes out for one cigarette when the rest of us have had 10. He takes so long out there. But Brendan also says those eggs were us. They were the most amazing thing. Hopefully they'll get keeping on the menu as a not just a memory, but as something we can memorialise 2020 with. Martin says, I'm sure Mark might be selling Scotch eggs over the bar. I hope so. Remember, Mark made these Scotch eggs. He didn't buy them in, he made them. They're amazing. Amy says, I thought it was a rumour that you peaked to earlier. It's not just a rumour, it is written in stone. Well, it's not. It's written on the walls on the inside of toilets and public telephone boxes. Those still exist. So, the end is nigh, as they say on street corners. So, I don't know about you. I am feeling rather conscious. We have been in some form of restricted life since March last year, almost a year. We're banging on to a year now. Do I feel confident going out? To some extent, yes. If I know I'm going, who I'm going with, which when we were going to the little bit between we go to the pubs, we had to book tables. We knew who was going to be around. We didn't quite know some of the people because we know a lot of people breaking laws and rules. And as we know from my mother, it is so easy to get the the virus, without even leaving your house. Vaccinations, wonderful. I wish we'd go a little faster. I do have news on vaccinations. I finally have my invite. So let me let you into a little secret. So I was getting very stressed. I had emailed, I think I mentioned last week, my doctor because they wanted me to phone in. They wanted me to keep phoning up to see if I get an appointment. And I questioned that because actually they're the ones controlling the appointments that come through. And so I sent an email through saying, look, I'm not going to phone in, but can you tell me, do you really want me to do this? I don't want to waste your time and keep finding out there's no appointments. I asked about the priority within group 6. I keep saying group 4, it's group 6. Because is it in alphabetical order? Is it in, more conditions you get the golden ticket? I don't know. Because I was the only person I know from my surgery that hadn't been invited in. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm not having this. I work in health and social care. I'm going to use my privilege. I never did. I never even with my lanyard to go and push in front of B&M or St Morrison's. You can, if you're working in health and social care, you can book a COVID vaccination at Majeski directly. So last week I did that. The difficulty you have is with the same roles in social care don't necessarily get the same privileges in healthcare. It's very, very odd. It's almost like we've forgotten that actually there's a whole world of care outside of the NHS. So I just put, yes, frontline worker, because my role on NHS would be getting the vaccination. The role in social care wouldn't. So take my lanyard, wave that and have it done. Anyway, I had my asthma checkup, my asthma review on Thursday. My steroids have been changing, as you know, 42% lung capacity, and I still wear a mask. And I just mentioned to the lovely district nurse, and she's doing, I said, look, I don't want to be jumping on anyone's toes, but how's it working? And I said the magic word. So if you haven't been invited, this is the magic word. Mention your Q COVID score, which is what I did. I looked it up. I knew my score was 78. Which actually, from that score, should be in the new bunch of shielding. But as they forgot to invite me for shielding last time, I'm not going to make a big fun of it. I survived for a year. So I should wait there a minute. And then she came back and said, look, we finished our bit. I'm waiting to put the phone down. I'm waving through the door. When I put the phone down, your phone will ring immediately. And it did. And it was a receptionist saying, can I book you in for your COVID vaccination? And as it, it wasn't said explicitly, but it was suggested I was forgotten. Or I think they thought they'd already invited me. So I have my vaccination booked out. So I have my golden ticket, which is really exciting. And I will start spinning heads very, very, very shortly. Excuse me. Bob says, it'd be nice to get out again, but won't be in a hurry to go out. I think I said the same thing to Sophie Ellen. We were chatting about prides and stuff. I said, you know what? Usually I'm the one who wants to go out. I don't feel comfortable going to these big events. And I have Rewind booked, Steps booked, Brighton Pride booked. It's a bit different if you're doing cabaret on a stage because you're stay away peasants. No guarantee I'll be booked anywhere this year. Paul says, I wouldn't say desperate. I'm looking at you, Paul. I would. To go to the pub, but more definitely looking forward to seeing friends again, probably whilst having a liberation. Or you've put libation, but I've changed the word for you. And a giggle. What are your opinions on the vaccination passport? I actually am in agreement with the vaccination passport. I don't think it makes a second class thing. I think it helps. If I go abroad and I have to take something to prove I've had vaccinations, it's the same sort of thing. I think, we want this pandemic to become an endemic, which is slowly becoming in some parts of the world. So I think if it protects someone else, all the better, I think. Do you know what? How can I do this? Will this work? It might not. So I have got a copy of the vaccination that I am going to have. Here it is. Yes. Full 100%, not made by Pfizer, made by Spicer. I should have planned that a little bit better. So there is my vaccination ready to pop into my thing. Ain't got a clue, doing £5. Thank you very much. Ain't got a clue. Glad I haven't got the headphones in because that would go not be well. So thank you very much. Every little helps. We'll talk about the fun and diversity a little later on. Martin asks, how are you doing, Rob? I'm sure Rob will reply. Yes, he's doing okay, thanks. How are you? Martin says, great. Rob's on lots of pain medications, they're slightly out of it. Out of it's probably a good way if you're in pain. That way it doesn't really get you. But as Martin, also Brendan says to you, every cloud has a silver lining. So, Sophie says, the Butler pub, as I said, that's how Android was able to run through. I have been to the Butler, opposite the Italian. Very nice, really, me, Manu and two drunks were in there. The landlady kept looking at us. I think it's the landlady, might be a barmaid. Looked suspiciously because we both decided to wear leather jackets. We must never ever wear the same clothes out ever again. So we know the public experience is coming back 21st of June. Fingers crossed. So we've got things to look forward to, haven't we? So we got our first night happen back. If it all works out, will be our birthday. Our second birthday. It'd be nice to celebrate. Can't do again what we had planned because of restrictions unless something changes. But that first weekend back after the 21st of June, I put it on the Club F.O.D Facebook page, penciled it in because that is going to be exciting. It's almost back to normal. We have to make it a masked ball or something like that. Did you also notice in the roadmap as well? If you have read it, I'm positive most of you haven't. They have got some little stipulations in there. They will bring in local lockdowns, frankly, if rates change. Because I noticed we've done quite well in Reading. We're coming down, but other areas are going quite high. It looks like the people that had Christmas are suffering now. Because it's all those sort of areas. Amy says, are you afraid the leather jackets might make you look gay? I'm trying not to burp, that was almost going to be loud. Makes me look like a biker, darling, which of course I am. All the time. So that's my headline news. Very, very exciting. Shall I show you how excited I will be to get out of lockdown? Really? Shall I? Here we go. Betty was helping me out there. Thank you, Betty, for filming that a little earlier on. Facebook will probably block us now for that. But I try to get it in a few seconds. So yeah, I am excited and I'm looking forward to having some sense of normality. But, you know, with normality, are we going to cope? We've all been sat indoors for a very long time. So it will be interesting to see how we do it, really. So the other thing, and I need to go back to the proper screen now. Bit of music, please. Thank you. The band is playing. Oh, wine's going to my head. This is what happens when you're not well. So yes, one thing I will show you. I forgot to mention that. Oh, did I not put it on? What a wally! I thought I did. No, I didn't. So I'll have to find a way of bringing it on. Give me a second. This is all technical mod cons here. How do I do this? Sing, sing. Sing along if you know the words. Right. I made something earlier, but like a wally, I didn't actually save it where it needed to go. So then I have to go. When we do all these things, it's quite a struggle to get them where we need them when we're broadcasting. So that will poke. That will go over to the screen. While we're waiting for that, do you know what? I got to show you this. It might not work. I'm hoping it does. As you know, I have been. We move that over there. I've been dieting for 2 weeks. Well, me and Manu both have been dieting. So we're both cutting out carbs, even though if you could show, we're not filming in the lounge because there's a big box of broken biscuits next to me, which I'm munching all the time. So the carbs have just come out for food. Still in the wine, not as much, and still in the biscuits. And I think Manu was mortified the other night when I was having like ice cream or waffles and stuff like that. But look, you can see how the weight has changed during the pandemic. So you all know that I lost so much weight in 2008. I lost over a stone in 2018. And I think it's about a stone in 2017. Then 2019. Got a little lazy, took a bit granted, put 6 stone on, which hopefully is not too bad. And as you can see, 2020, I put a stone back on. It's dreadful. But we started this diet not even 2 weeks ago, and I've already lost £6. So I'm really, really happy. And I love having these little apps that show to me exactly how we're doing. So the January weight diet will be available for sale to make me money. But what I was trying to get for you is F.O.D have created its own roadmap. There we go, look. This is the F.O.D roadmap. The F.O.D roadmap out of COVID back to the pub. So step 1, 29th of March. Unfortunately, guys, it's just cruising outdoors. You and one other can do that. I believe actually the Border 6 is available. And step 2, 12th of April's hair and makeup. There is me and Viola sitting there, hair and makeup ready, because it's taken us a long time after a year off to get ready. 17th of March, bars open, and there's F.O.D with its initial nights out. And then step 4, we get human touch again. And there you can see I did alter that actually, because originally it had the F.O.D uncles on the bridge with their sign, very famous sign, but as the arrow pointed to cruising, I didn't think that was appropriate for a trustee. I thought it was wonderful, but I didn't think it was good. Brendan says, anyone else notice the connection with Jamie's weight loss and the COVID-19 curve? I double dare you to try and put that all together in a graphic ready for your radio show that you can't show because you're on a microphone. That is the magic of TV. So, am I back in my normal chat room? I think I am. So, what have we done? We've done the headlines. Let's look at the gay gossip. There we go. Got up on the screen. There's not so much gay gossip this week, is there really? But there is, actually, all today. You'll have noticed that Pride festivals have all started. This next slide, please, Sophie says. Let me put it on the screen. It's funny. All the Prides have now started releasing their Pride dates. They're all coming back. The earliest I found so is Brighton in Hove, 6th, the 8th of August. I do have a tent book for that weekend from last year. So if anybody does want to share a tent with me, let me know. Then Swindon is also that weekend. Swindon in Wiltshire. That's the 7th of August. That's just down the road. The 20th, the 22nd is not a Pride festival. It is an 80s festival. So Rewind South, that many of you will have tickets for. If you haven't, get them. Actually, I'm not so fussed about Rewind South, even though everyone is on top of each other, because we pitch our tents in a little village. And obviously I have the big gay one. And we're in the VIP area. So the space there is quite good. We were the celebrities. Well, they were in the 80s, celebrities. And Mark and people like that, which is lovely. Manchester Pride has been announced. That's the 27th to the 30th of August. It's the bank holiday weekend. And then Reading Pride is cautiously on the 4th of September, announced today. 11th of September is Pride in London. So we have to work out what we're doing there because it's a FOD night as well. Actually, all of these are FOD nights as well. And then so far, Birmingham Pride is the 25th and 26th of September. So, are you looking forward to celebrating our diversity again? I know we do this at F.O.D all of the time. But have you missed Pride? That's what I want to know. Have you missed the celebration of being yourself? Because actually, I think it is quite liberating. For some of us, not everyone will find this, but I love going to Pride because you do feel this big sense of relief around you, this big sense of safety, security, and you see all these thousands of gays that weren't there before, quite simply. Certainly in Reading, anyway. They don't feel the need to come out, or will say, oh, there's no gay scene, even though Club F.O.D has created the gay scene in Reading, or recreated a gay scene in Reading. So while I'm waiting for your responses on Pride, Amy says Jamie puts a camp into camping. Darling, I created it. The only reason I brought the big rainbow tent, actually, and we've been kitting out the other one recently. If you need rugs, by the way, people, B&Q have the garden outdoor rugs that you have in bell tents for a tenth of the price you're buying. So running there, they're in the garden section. The bell tent was actually brought because it worked out cheap. I wasn't going to sleep in a normal tent. I'm sorry, I'm not that sort of person. And the bell tent was cheaper than actually hiring it at Rewind. So that's how we ended up doing it. And then obviously I got the bug and had to get the one that's double the size. In my head, it was bigger than a garage when I was doing the measurements, but it's not. It's quite small, really. And Sophie says, yes, very much so to Pride events. Also, Sophie, you're performing at some of them, so hopefully you will be here. Looking forward to it. I shall wait to see if I get asked to perform anywhere. Do you know what, Sophie? I decided I would like me and you to host a stage somewhere like we have done on Saturday Live. I think we should be the Fern and Phil of Pride. I have decided, so I'm unanimous in that. Paul Hart says, looking forward to Pride, but I agree. We'll be splashing out the action for the ability to be cautious. That's if some prides have VIP. Now, some prides do make money on the VIP as well, or the members' enclosures, or whatever they're calling them these days. So will they try cramming as many people into those areas as possible? So I'm hoping that if a Pride does take place, or any festival takes place, I imagine they'll be told they've got to halve their numbers. But priority goes to the local communities. Which does mean counters out for things like Swindon and London and stuff here in Reading. But I hope it reduces those numbers, because also for the ones who've got parades, you'll have all those crowds on the side of the street, less than 2 minutes apart. So it's not safe for them either as participants. So I hope that people bear in mind that COVID hasn't gone. Vaccination and test and trace, etc. are ways of getting us to escape. But don't forget, we can still give COVID even if we've had the vaccination. We can still catch it and pass it on. It just lessens the effect if we get it. That's really all the vaccination does. Phil and Holly don't even... Oh, yeah, because Fern's not there anymore. Do you know what? I performed for Fern, Brenton. Can I just point this out? When we had the restaurant in Acton. And she said she'd come the next night with her friends if I performed again. My ex at the time when they had the restaurant was really paid off. I had to perform again because it means she had to pay me again to do that. And she did come back with double the number of people. She had about 8 or 9 people. It was quite nice. I remember singing Heartbeat by Steps, and she loved it. So, other songs by other bands are available. Only Sophie says she's looking for the window. Sophie and Paul have said they're looking to Pride. Be interested to see what the rest of you Paul's saying in response to that, I think more Eamon and Ruth. It's fine. I can kick people off streams. I have the power here. I have a button. Like an ejector seat, it just evicts you from everything. It's like in the Matrix, we just take you out and just gone. Be gone, be gone, be gone. So, yes. Benjamin Martin, I know you're looking for the V1, looking for the Pride. I know we're all trustees of video, so we have to, by law, really want to take part in Pride. I don't know if parades will happen this year, in the sense they've had before, obviously. But then if you're going to have like 5,000 people in the field, would a parade make much difference? So we'll all get the excitement of watching over the next few months to see how things develop. But is it the end? Is it release? Who knows? We'll find out on the next week's show when Man Hancock will be delivering another rubbish press briefing without answering another question. So, that's the gay gossip. Did I not press the button for gay gossip? I didn't. Headlining with the Pfizer chiefs, mummy jokes are back in the building. We could set up that. And the flu fighters. Oh, have you got a book now, Sophie? Have you? Have you really written down every joke? Weezer, that's me at the moment. Last time was dreadful. I thought, oh my God, this is it. I'm going. Brendan, Blenheim, I'm coming. So write all these down, and we'll do our own talent show at the Plar. And people have to do the band that we name them. I can't think of any other quickies. As a word, can't find it. Funny. It means funny. Oh, I don't know. Obviously, I'm not funny, so it doesn't really make a difference. So, what's my weekly rant this week? Badly drawn breath is another one, Sophie. Brenda says, can't wait for anybody weird. Think we will give London Pride a miss. No way they can do that safely. Amy says, has Sophie spent ages writing down these mum jokes? I think she has. I reckon there's a tablet there somewhere she speaks into. Oh my God, that's funny. Got it right down. And Martin says that's volume 2. So my week's rant is basically going to be about COVID. What else could it be? I have watched with bated breath all these people getting so excited about going to the pub. That's all they care about. Oh, they get drunk and they put up memes, whatever it's called, about, oh, we're going to be so drunk, we're going to do this, it's going to be like at Weatherspoons and stuff like that. But I think the government have been very clever because they've sort of said, in the words of RuPaul, good luck and don't fuck it up, is what they're saying. So the blame is firmly going to be pointed straight at us, the general public. So if the date slips, it won't be the government's fault, it will be ours. It's nice, we're optimistic, but we have to be realistic. Do you get what I'm saying? Because look at the last time things got promised. Remember when the children went back to school the last time, and the rates, they shut up. That was meant to be a really steep curve. It didn't really come out like that. Let's look back at the government decisions that have happened over the last year. They've not been great. As Sophie shouts out, Jarvis Copper. The whole escape route success has really been put in the public hands. And I think that's what gets to me. If we behave, then we can be let out. But can we behave? Answer that truthfully. Look around at the people you know socially and in your life. Can we behave? Let's take where I live. I live in South Reading. I live on Kennet Island, but you would never know. It's like sometimes it's like a bomb's gone off. Kennet Island, the figures we had in Kennet Island, and in fair, when they do those statistics, it is a huge chunk of Whitley as well, but they call it Kennet Island. We were the highest area of transmission. And despite us having a stay-at-home order here in Whitley, we've got feral children walking down the streets like something at Lord of the Flies. Then groups of 6, 10, 15, 20. Then you've got people on their mopeds, 3, 4, somehow crammed on a bike, going through the red lights. So we had a big accident recently, and everyone was blaming the cars. It wasn't the moped, went across the road like it always does when they're told they're supposed to push across. These aren't essential journeys when you haven't got a helmet on. No siree. If the children and the teenagers were acting like this before the pandemic? What hope have we got during a pandemic and exiting a pandemic? Where are the parents? Why aren't they telling these people off? Let's not call them children, because they're adults. They can make decisions, and they're making bad decisions. Their behaviour is a result of something else that needs looking at. Lack of discipline, lack of consequences. It's just not being dealt with. Whole families, whole outings are taking place in Morrison's, Aldi, Lidl, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, etc. When it clearly says, one person, one trolley, don't bring your whole family out. It's not a day out to look at the tomatoes. It really isn't. The ethos of cleaning a trolley has suddenly gone out the window. No one's got any anti-bac stuff or trolley cleaner. No one is wearing a mask. If you go to a supermarket now, there's at least 60, 70 people that don't have to wear a mask. Really? Shopping at the same time. It's not about whether you don't want to smudge your lipstick. It's not about whether, it makes my nose itch. It's about protecting the lives of people around you. Laziness isn't a reward. It isn't a cure. Do you know what? Just because these people have got these lanyards you can buy for £1.74 off eBay, because I bought one today to prove a point. If I bought a stick of chalk, I am not a teacher. So that's where I get cross. This is what I've got to rant about. It's the way people are behaving. Look at the gay scene. People are hooking up left, right and centre. People are meeting up for walks when it should be one person, one another. So tell me, what hope have we got getting out of a lockdown route if people keep thinking, oh, it's just a little rule broken? It just gets my goat. So that's me. That's my rant. That's what I'm annoyed with, because you know what? Come June or come March, I don't think much will change, and we need to start calling out those people that are not helping, really, or doing something about it, because education is not working. TV advertising campaigns to get vaccination aren't working. So Amy asks, how long did you spend rehearsing this rant? Darling, it's a rant I've been having forever. During the pandemic, it really is. Do you know what? It really does get on my nerves. Let me take that off the screen. Gets on my nerves when people do flout the rules, because we have all been affected in different ways. All of us, each of us are individuals. Some of us have had more mental health issues than others, but I think we've all had some sort of issue or concern. Some people I know have been locked in houses with people that hate them, and getting homophobia. Some people accidentally come out during this period, because long as they've been stuck at home. So we got to do something. I don't know what the solution is. I really don't. But me ranting doesn't change anything, does it? It just tells you how cross I am about the people that think it's fine to break the rules. Because if we all started breaking the rules, I can't remember what that film is, where for one day you can break the law. You know, some people have been breaking the law every day. You know, I remember seeing someone's post, and I mentioned this before, I think I put it on Facebook, where literally they changed their support bubble every day, then took plates off the tables, pretend they were eating, just so they could go to the pub every night that week, or every day that week. And their support bubble had 19 people in by the end of that week. So that is what I get cross about. Don't care if you don't like the fact that I'm pissed off about it, but it is what it is. Martin Santo, it's a purge. Martin also says, when in pubs we hug, but households have been meeting up all the way through. And I have. Look at Christmas. Some of us had Christmas completely change. I wouldn't say ruined, because you do make. But we know there were other people that didn't. They still continued with the Christmas that they were planning to have. Martin says, swear box wafted again. Do you know what I'm going to get? You know what I'm like when I get cross. Language does come out of my mouth, and I can't help it. But I'll tell you what you can do to help. As you know, we are always raising money for the Fund of Diversity. We only raised £15 this month, but every penny does count, and it all goes to the Fund of Diversity. Now, the Fund of Diversity is something that you choose. It's about picking projects, causes, charities locally that are going to benefit the LGBT plus community locally. I mentioned locally twice, it's that important. It's an old video because I haven't updated, but Here are the F.O.D uncles with a short message explaining to how you can help us choose where that money goes. Here they go. Boys, over to you.
Hello, we are the F.O.D uncles from Club F.O.D.
We are an LGBT plus charity based in Reading.
As a charity, we raise funds and periodically make grants to groups who support our charity aims.
Are you or do you know of a business, organisation or company that actively support the LGBT plus community that you feel could benefit from our support?
If so, please email us at
funds@f-o-d.co.uk and give us a brief reason why you think Club F.O.D could help.
Also, please include contact details for your nomination.
Thank you in advance.
Brendan,
Martin.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I love the fact they have to tell each other who they are. Hang on, got music. We make a little dance. This music. So that was the F.O.D uncles, and quite obviously the email address for you to send your suggestions through is not actually saved on my computer. It used to be. Did I delete it by accident? I think I did. It's funds, F-U-N-D-S, at f-o-d.co.uk. It is the old video. There's a new one, so I do apologise. And I will make sure that is available for tomorrow. So, Sophie says, many of us haven't known of such are the rules. Shame the law tarnish the hopes of the many. The few. Sorry, Johnny. I'm slipping over my words. I have calmed down. I'm having a cigarette. But you all know, I remember when we allowed people into outside space, into gardens, and I had a barbecue last year. I spent my time panicking. Oh no, they go in the house. Do I have to remove people? We shouldn't be under that stress to do the right thing, if the right thing is the right thing to do. So, I know that, it's been happening. I'm just hoping that this is the last lockdown. I will finally pay off the Christmas. Actually, March is when I pay off the Christmas that I planned, ironically. So I will organise a Christmas dinner at some point to have the Christmas that we never had. Less of the ranting, let's have some fun stuff. Tell me, do you know what we used to do when we first started doing Wake's World? And it was a ribbing thing. You sort of ribbed me or asked me questions. So I'm going to throw it open to you now, for you to ask me questions that I have to answer. This could go horribly wrong, but it could go horribly right at the same time as well. So this is your part to quiz me. I don't care what the question, it could be an agony aunt. You could ask me, not a maths question, but let's see what comes out of this. I think it'll be interesting. So let's call this a social experiment. I'm going to keep talking until a question comes in about the questions, just until you're bored enough to send them in. No question too big, no question too small. But I was expecting more intelligent questions from you, Amy. Am I wearing trousers today? Why, have you noticed I've lowered the chair then? Actually, I am wearing trousers. I'm wearing jeans. Thank you for that intelligent question. I look forward to be asked the same thing when I'm a politician on Question Time about what what garments below the waist I am wearing. So, Amy, thank you for that thought-provoking and enlightening question that you have sent over to us. Thank you very much. I'm almost lost for words from the simplicity of the language used to ask that. What are you talking nonsense, show? I know. Finding any old word I can find to make me sound intelligent as I do that. Oh, which I've been doing in my university course. Oh my God, the Latin I'm having to learn at the moment. Couldn't tell you one bit of it, and yet I've got to do a whole 30,000 word essay. Horrible. So, come on then, what other questions have you got? Martin saying, and fluffy slippers. You know what? I am not. Oh, I can't get my legs up. Well, I'm not wearing my fluffies. They've gone. I've got red checked slippers now. I haven't tried these out on the motorbike yet, so I will have to find out. Brendan said, the new videos in Teams. I know. Just don't have it on this computer. Bob says, giving up smoking, should you be shamed for not being able to? As I just lit my cigarette. I'll relit my cigarette. It's a difficult one. I know that smoking is bad for me. Don't get me wrong, I do know that. Let me keep it on the screen because people wonder what I'm talking about. They just join us. But should I be shamed for it? No. I don't think that's the world we live in. Although I have just tried shaming people for breaking the law. Until smoking is illegal, then I would say no. Paul Hart says, when will your wines and beers and chocolate be ready in all good supermarkets? They won't be. In fact, I went to try and check the beers earlier and I almost dropped them when the doorbell rang from a customer for the chocolates. So they are in, they call their cold stage, where any bits left in it sink to the bottom. So they'll be ready next Saturday, so face it. So I will try that. Sophie asks, how can we use what we've all learned this last year at the next generation in the future? I don't think it's just about what we've learned in the last year, because we learn something every day. Every day we live, there's a lesson. The next generation, I've always used this phrase, any speech I've delivered is, they need a set of shoulders to stand on, and we have to be the generation that does that. I don't think the lessons we've learned over the last year are any different to the lessons we've already been taught about being a good neighbour, about being a community, because we certainly have pulled together as a community in some aspects of the LGBT community, in others not so. But Love Thy Neighbour is, well, not just a programme that was on TV years ago, but it's also in Holy Scriptures and stuff like that. I think we have to start being a bit kinder to each other. Be kind says such a simple thing. Do you know what? I hate La, be more Jill. I think that's what we need to do. Go out of our way to make a difference. Martin says, oh, soz, that's your head. No idea what that was about. Ready for the garden party? Yes, anytime the beers will come out. Amy, answering Amy's question, which I missed. Have you thought about dyeing your beard? You know, I dyed it once, and it didn't suit me. I looked like they found the body of David Guest. No, I've never thought about it again. Do you know what? I quite like the white. Now, when I get it right, and it has this little kink to it at the bottom, everything around me has a little kink, it looks like a little snowflake. So I quite like that. So, what's Brendan saying here? We can teach them to live stream if we're going to do a radio show. Yes, you can. done my bit. I'm not sure that will change the world. It might change an hour. I'm not sure. Don't forget tomorrow. We'll do a what's on in a moment. The F.O.D Uncles are back doing Radio F.O.D, the warm-up to Saturday Live. Brendan says, he really did like David Guest. It was brilliant. Yes. I can remember, Brendan, when you used to dye your beard, so don't give us that. When I first met you, you were dyeing your beard left, right and centre. It was like looking at a disco light when the lights hit it. Brendan, perhaps you can teach Jamie to do a TV show. Right, Amy, that's it. Eject a seat button. Where is it? So Martin says, change your family, bring us together. You know what? The family, there's family by blood and there's family by who you are connected with, who you not just socialise with, who is in your bubble. Support bubbles were always there, but they just weren't limited to two households. And I think that's the big difference. And I think support bubbles will continue to grow. I certainly don't see anything that Club F.O.D does disappearing. I think, well, certainly we've had the money from the National Lottery, so we have to. But the F.O.D TV project and the Radio F.O.D project will continue. Let's face it, me and Sophie can do our show, then jump on a bus into town and go to the pub. Sorted. Same with anyone who does a radio show. Sophie's got a question that might make us all think now, and I'd like to hear your answers to some of these questions as well. You're about to get into a massive route. What would be playing as your soundtrack in the background? Now, if I'm rowing, because everyone knows I'm very good at rowing. I'm a dog with a bone. So I will have I Predict a Riot or Do you hear the people sing from Les Miserables? That is how gay I can be, Sophie, at the time. Some bubbles are like farts in the bath. They certainly are, Amy. But, you know, even scum has to find its own line in a bath. As my mother used to tell me. Oh, well, she used to say it slightly differently, but I can never get it right. I must ask her how it goes. So, let's find out what is on for the following week. Hasn't been updated because things change and schedules changing. We're trying to correct that. So, what is coming up over the next week? So, I realise that's going to be on there to do that. On Monday, or tomorrow rather, let's start tomorrow, myself and Sophie are back with Saturday Live at 8 p.m. Before that, the follow-on calls will be broadcasting from 6 till 8. They'll warm up to Saturday Live. That's on Radio F.O.D and obviously Saturday Live on F.O.D TV. And then it's followed by F.O.D's virtual party. On Monday at 8 p.m, the F.O.D quiz night returns. It was only meant to be a one-off. It's continued every week since. Wednesday, I will check, but I believe the weekly whip's back on. Then you can let me know. Thursday at 7, Gary's Oral Pleasure. That's on Radio F.O.D. Friday 8 p.m, Wakes Well. This is what you're watching now, surprisingly, on F.O.D TV at 8 p.m, followed by F.O.D Virtual Party at 9. Again, on the Saturday, 6 p.m, the F.O.D Uncles, followed by 8 p.m, Saturday Live, followed by F.O.D the Virtual Party. And as you may have seen this week, Support You did their first show here on F.O.D TV, which was a roaring success. Well done to all involved. And they will be also joining the lineup, the lockdown listings. This week has been the busiest we've ever been for Club F.O.D at Home, which is the umbrella term for what we do. So well done to everyone who has done something this week. Amy's let us know that her song during a row would be Born to Raise Hell by Motorhead. She even got the 2 little dots over the O. Well done, you linguistic you. So I don't know the song, but I'm sure it's lovely. Set to the tune of Chopsticks, I believe. Brendan says, with some people it would have to be True Colours. It certainly would. Martin says, I am the tiger. Here I come. Teach. That is very generous and very welcome. Thank you. As you know, your donations make a huge difference to many lives of the community. We know just by doing what we do here on F.O.D TV and the radio over the last year, it has changed lives. It sounds so blasé, but we know from the messages we have that we did. So David, thank you. And please, David, make sure you email funds at F-O-D.co.uk with suggestions of where that money could be spent. So thank you very, very much. So we're almost coming to the closing, I feel like I'm at the Olympics, closing ceremony. Yes, I'm going to have 3 fairies dance around. So, what can I say? I don't have any lovely wise words to end. I never have done, to be fair. I think Amy's description is probably the best at something to show. Some bubbles really are like farts in the bath. I just come here to rant for an hour, even when I'm not. Well, can you believe it? Look, this is how ill I am. I hardly touch my wine, which is unheard of for me. It's brought wine, I have to say. The homemade wine's not ready. But don't forget, we have our virtual party this evening at 9. Mark, very kindly, he's just he timed it well. The F.O.D virtual party will be starting soon. See the link in the description. We are putting the links in the descriptions of things we do. Don't forget, you can catch up with everything that we do by visiting F.O.D TV.co.uk or Radio F.O.D.co.uk. Both the same page, but devoted to the same thing. Or on our charities website, which is www.f-o-d.co.uk. And all of the services that actually Club F.O.D currently provides or is soon to provide are all listed. And we are looking for volunteers and committee members to get involved. We need so many people to make sure that everything that we do continues to happen. And as usual, I'll put this back on the screen so you can read it as I say it. Be part of the lockdown listings. We're looking for people who can help create live stream pre-recorded LGBT plus content to entertain people at home. And of course, as you may have seen, we support you. We provide all of the technical know-how, details and training to make that happen. All you've got to do is send us a message, speak to myself, speak to Sophie, who is in charge of the area, or Brendan, or anyone else involved in Club F.O.D. So, the trapdoor to Wake's world is about to close, but Heaven's Gate to the virtual party is about to open, hosted by Mark this evening. So thank you, Mark, for doing that. So Paul saying, Jamie, can you confirm whether it reached you? I received 2 donations this evening. That possibly could have been yours. I did acknowledge it at the time. So if you are, we find the thing that came through. Oh no, it didn't come up on the screen, Paul. But actually, I've had a message. It's actually got your name attached to it. So thank you so much for doing that. So Paul, thank you very much for your donation. And again, Paul, not just to anyone else who's sent any money in, funds F-O.D.co.uk, because we want this to go to the right people and the right places, the people that need it to make a difference for all of us. Just not just me and you watching, but the people we don't get to see, to talk to hear, or connect with, or network with. So thank you to Paul, thank you to Dave, and thank you to everyone that does what they can to make sure that F.O.D is able to continue in the way it does in helping other people. So 4 minutes to 9. That means it's almost time for the party. I think Mark will open the party now anyway. There's a waiting room for you to go in. So all it reminds me to say is this. Remember, keep being fabulous. You are as special and unique as you always have been, locked in or locked out. Remember, spread the love. Don't spread the germs. I will see you tomorrow with Sophie for Club F.O.D. I can't remember who's driving. I think I'm driving the show. But I think of a game or something. Hopefully I'll feel a lot better. I may see some of you in the virtual party. If I do, it'll be to wave and say hi. And that's it. I need my bed. So I'll leave you with this. Good night. God bless. And I'll see you very, very soon. See ya.